What's up, synthesizers? Welcome back to the Daily Drop. And this Daily Drop, I'm going to tell you right now, we are going to be coming in hot with some serious butt kicking on what you need to do in order to be successful in your artist career going into 2025, but really to be successful long term. And like I said, we're going to come in hot with this. And if you are a DJ, a producer, a promoter, a label owner, you really need to sit down and take this in because this is a huge place where all of you that are operating in the music industry are seriously missing the mark in a lot of ways across the board. And there are people at certain levels that really get this, and there are predominantly probably 90% of people who don't. So if you are in that 10% of people who are really, really good at this, and I'm going to get to what that is in a second, good for you. But the rest of you, I'm going to say it's about 90%, are actual shit at this, and you need to listen up. So one thing that you really need to get with and get real with right now is if your content sucks, if your visual media sucks, if your asset sucks, you need to sit down and take a good look at that right now. And yeah, we're coming in hot because we're in the marketing space. What are we doing all day? We are trying to optimize and put together visual media and content that promotes our artist, promotes our event. So we're on the back end and we see a lot of content come through and we see an incredible lack of content that never comes through. And I'm just gonna be honest. If let's say you're a DJ, right? And you get booked for an event and you don't have any content to share with the marketing team for that event, they're gonna be pretty frustrated. And it is going to really hinder their job to promote that event. And you, as someone who's getting booked, have a responsibility to participate and bring something to the table, to that marketing team, to that promoter. So I hope you can see how this is actually all connected. It's not just a matter of you get booked and cool, all right, cool, I guess I get to play the event. No, like you are an integral part of the success of that event, which means that you need to be supplying your part. And your part is to supply really good visual assets, media, and content that promoter can use to promote you. And the same goes with the labels and the music you release. You can't expect people to pull content out of their ass and make something with it. It doesn't work that way. It's your responsibility. So like I said, it's going to be a stern talking to today, but I think sometimes it just needs to be said that way because I just don't think a lot of people really get it. But we live in the content age and there is no way around it. We live in an age where attention span is like literally 3 seconds maximum. If your shit doesn't look good, you're bumming. Like, I'm sorry, you are like 20, 30, 50 paces behind the rest. And that's just the reality. So what I want you to take away from the Daily Drop today, and this little bit of fire that I'm letting up under your booty again, is you need to get real and look at what does your EPK look at right now? What does your EPK look like right now? If you were to send it to a promoter for a booking, would you feel really good about what you're sending them? Would you feel like, oh, cool, man, this fully translates my vibe. This shows exactly what I'm about. They should totally book me because, like, look at what I can bring to the table. Like, really honestly ask yourself that, because I'm telling you, I see a lot of EPKs and no, this is not what I'm seeing. And as an artist myself, there is no way in hell I'd put out half the stuff that I see come through our channels. So get real with yourself right now. Like, we're talking all about building momentum into 2025. And if you do not have this piece together, you need to just get this done and get it handled and have it look professional. So that might mean you need to book a photo shoot right now and you need to get some professional photos done. This might mean the next gigs that you have coming up in the next month, 2 months, whatever, like moving into the new year, you better get someone to record some video content that actually looks good. I don't mean crappy iPhone videos. I mean, spend a couple $100. There's someone in your network, I guarantee, that has a good camera, that has some skills, and can take some nice shots of you DJing, playing your music. If you're working in your studio and you're in production, like take a minute, watch some videos, follow some people who know how to do nice setups in the studio and all of that. Learn a few things, record some content in there, clean up your environment, like get it looking slick, get it looking like it represents you, whatever that means, and record some content. Get some stuff in there that you're going to bank for when you have these releases coming up. If you're a promoter, and I think people skip over like how much, how important this is for people who are promoting events. If you are a promoter and you have events coming up in 2025 and you're looking at your content bank and there is like not enough content for you to really promote your events and like basically seduce people, like that's what you're trying to do. Marketing is like seduction. Like you want people to come to these events, man, it better look like something someone wants to pay for and give their energy to. And if it doesn't have some appeal, if it doesn't convey what your event is, like what do you expect? Like we're already in a time when ticket sales are like an extreme challenge. Buying people's attention is an extreme challenge. People are so selective now, partially for like 1,000 reasons I'm not even going to get into that we're all aware of, that if you aren't able in your marketing to convey the reason why your event should be the choice over the like hundreds of other events that are happening that month in your city, you need to sit down and get real with yourself and think about when and where you are going to shoot some of that content. I advise any of my clients that are promoters that literally at every event, there should be content being taken by a professional. Like hands down, that's what should be happening. And again, there are a lot of people in the network. There are a lot of people that are your fans, that are people who really believe in your brand. Let's say if you're an event promoter or something like that, that would probably offer their services for not that much of an investment. Like this is one of the most important investments you can make in your career, is to invest in high quality content and to put it together in a way that really, really conveys your message and your music and speaks directly to your fans, to the people that you want to curate at your events, for example, to the people that you want to have on the dance floor when you're playing. Like this is actually your responsibility. I think a lot of people think that, like I just get booked or whatever, and it's like on the promoter, or, it's just like on the basic, like, let me share the flyer, let me do this, and like expect people to come. This just like, it just doesn't work that way. Like you absolutely have to be curating a vibe consistently over and over and over and over again, so people understand that. And how do we do it? Again, like I said, we live in the content era. That's how you do it. And it doesn't always have to be of you, right? It doesn't always have to be like this curated content of you. It can be creating themes and aesthetics and like a visual understanding of your content through different mediums and different spaces and places and things that tie, like threads together on your platforms. So like you really got to get in there and get creative. Like that's just the reality. So I know it's like a fiery daily drop, but I just know, I know for a multitude of reasons, if you're a DJ or producer, having this together is going to help you so much, not only on your other channels, but it's going to be a game changer with the promoters and the producers, event producers and stuff that you work with, and potentially agents that maybe want to work with you too. Like this is a huge attractor for people to want to work with you. If you look like you have it together, and having your visual media together, having an EP that's like super locked down, so you can hand it off to a marketing team that works for whatever production or whatever, and like they can just start pulling assets and they have something to work with. Like this is huge. And I will say too, just like a lot of what happens when people are, this is like a back end thing that probably a lot of people don't know, but like we're ripping everything off of your social pages half the time because none of you have your shit together. And this is a lot of extra steps for the people on these teams. Imagine if you just had it all there for people to use, and think about what other kinds of promotional content people could make if they had access to like your best assets to use. This is something to really think about deeply, because it adds a layer of like working with you as an artist is like, man, that artist was amazing to work with. Timely communication, assets, everything was delivered, in the marketing advance on time, and it looks good. Like, this is like, oh, this person's a professional, right? You see what I mean? Like, this person has it together. Like, they look like they actually want it. And people want to work with people who want it, who are going to go the extra mile when it comes to promoting their events. Okay, so that's for my DJs and producers. That's your little reminder. Now, for my promoters, and we'll lump labels into that too, because I think labels, it's great if you can really set up a plan for the artists that you have signing on, and like some expectations around what kinds of content you expect them to provide, so that during the promotion and release of music on your label, you're not having to like, again, pull shit out of your ass. Like, there's something there for you to use. And again, like, it's not always on the label, my artist friends. Like, you need to step up to the plate too, and you need to provide as well something that makes that label go, oh man, definitely can't wait to sign them for another release. You see how it works? And then for the promoters out there, lastly, I just want to say, like, if you have events coming up in 2025, you need to be looking at your assets now. You need to be looking, do I have what I need to effectively promote the event that I have coming up next, or in 6 months, or maybe it's a festival. Like, I'll use one of our clients, for example. Like, we bank media like crazy for our annual festival that happens every summer. Like, we bank a lot of content so that we have zero issue when it comes time to really ramp up our promo and really be pushing things out. There's like a plethora of content to use that really expresses what this event is about, and like the feeling and the sensation and the people and the vibe that we're curating. Like, I can't tell you how much easier it makes it to sell tickets and to bring people into an experience when the content really matches what you're doing. That's kind of like a secondary piece, I guess, of this, because I can kind of, whistle blow beyond my talking up here a storm or whatever about this. But like, cool, yes, you need content, and you need content that actually matches the vibe of who you are. So the next layer of this, and I'm just going to add this in here, I'll probably do an entire daily drop devoted to visual assets and how to really align them with your brand. But I'm going to mention it here because we're kind of just going off about it. But really need to make sure that whatever assets you're providing and the content that you're putting up and using matches the vibe of the thing that you're actually promoting. And if you're an artist, that it actually matches your brand. So use some of this time towards the end of the year to evaluate all of this. And I'm a big believer in like being extremely brutally honest with ourselves about where we are with certain aspects of our journey, whether it's the business side of things, the artistry side of things, whatever. Like, being that honest with ourselves so we can see the holes and the gaps so that we can actually consciously take actions to close them is a huge thing. So if you know your EPK sucks and it does not reflect who you are, and it does not show who you like, what your music and your message is really about, this is the time to be that level of honest, and to schedule some shoots or take some action so that you can like build that up. And again, if you're a promoter, this is the time to go in there and like, are you going to have the assets you need? Or do you need to make sure in these final events of the year or the first few events of the year next year that you're going to hire someone, and you're going to hire someone good, and you're going to vet them, and you're going to make sure they're going to deliver what you need, not only to recap that event, but for your future promotion, because it will make a difference. So take it all in. It's all said with love and desire to see you all rise and be seen and be visible as like the highest, best expression of who you are as an artist. And take that to heart when it comes to your visuals. This is how you are expressing to people who you are as an artist. And I know we want the music to speak for itself, right? I've heard that 1,000 times, and I get it. And I don't necessarily disagree, like I understand why artists feel that way. But the reality, like I said, is we live in the content age, and we live at a time when this is the way that we draw people in to our world, to our music, to our message, to our events, to the experience. Like it all comes through this visual media and this ability to convey something through images and videos and the way it syncs up with your sound. So if you have any questions about this or any comments, or you need support with this, please feel free to reach out to us. More than happy to give you some more pointers. And if there's another aspect of this that you want us to cover, like maybe I should do just like a full EPK daily drop and really break things down for you guys so you can see it, let me know if that would be of interest. And, if this one was helpful, again, like, tough love in the industry is good. Like it's needed. And that's definitely one of the things you're going to find over here is a little bit of this kind of fire, because this is good fuel. This is good fuel to be in that investigation of where there are some gaps in your career that you can close to be successful. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you're hanging out here, because these daily drops are here to help you move forward successfully as an artist in 2025 and way beyond. Like way beyond. Like you get to do this for the rest of your life. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.